What to do, y'all? This is the Monday morning tap in. The Monday morning tap in. Let's see. Y'all can see you know, nice weather out. Nice weather out. The laptop. Bam, bam. Never stop working, man. Never stop working. Yeah, it's the Monday morning tap in. I think that I'm gonna do this from here on in. The Monday morning tap in. Nobody steal my ideas because I think a lot of people they be stealing my ideas, like bigger YouTubers, and they be using them, right? And that's one of the hindrances of putting out content, especially when your channel is small and you haven't hit the algorithm. Um, One of the hindrances is that the bigger YouTubers they may take some of your content. Your content can be deep, it can be good. You could be dropping some real game, some real knowledge, some real wisdom, but you haven't hit that YouTube algorithm, or you haven't been chosen as one of the YouTube favorites. So what happened is you'll be dropping content, and let's say you follow a bigger YouTube channel. You may, as I've heard, as myself have heard, certain ideas being spoken about, and you know that when you hear it, it's like it's no way this person has the same unique idea that I came up with, and they have basically talking the same talking points, and you have to wonder, hey, did they see your channel, your video, and then use your content for their channel? And the reality of this cold world the reality of this cutthroat cold world is they probably did. I've heard this from other YouTubers say that you shouldn't put out videos like that until your channel is big because you'll be putting out stuff that these bigger YouTubers will take because they run out of ideas, man. You know, everybody got a niche, and there's only so much they can talk about before this stuff starts to be repetitive, right? And a lot of these people, they're not really like readers, or they do read, but now they're so busy in the maintenance of their channel and keeping it up that they don't have the time like when they were coming up to devote to it like I do, right? So they'll they'll take the shortcut, man, to keep their shit popping, to keep their shit relevant. They'll go look at some smaller channels that 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 uh that have some deep content, and they'll take some talking points from there, right? And they'll be subscribed to these smaller channels through they spinster accounts or whatever, and they'll take your shit, man. Now it's no problem if you take a smaller YouTuber's channel's content or ideas and then give acknowledgement to that person, that channel, like, hey, shout out to this. I watched shout out to this, but they can't do that, right? Because it's all competition, right? It's all about keeping your top spot. And this is the idea of rugged capitalism. Rugged capitalism is about keeping your top spot. You know, when I'm in these when I'm at work, when I'm at my slave, man, I don't just come with my food and my lunch. I do bring my food. I bring books, man. I bring books, and I got books, and I got my laptop, and I got ebooks. What I'm saying? I got the Kindle popping. You know what I'm saying? So my ebook game is on thick. And so I'm using this time because I've decided, being at this job, just over broke, I'm never going to get anywhere, right? They're not going to raise my pay. They're not going to. They want to give me and most of us just enough to survive, but not too much to do anything else. They keep us at such a level to where, like, if we have responsibilities, we're basically economically stuck. We're in chains. We're in bondage due to our bills and our obligations, right? And so I said, okay, if this is how they want to play with me, and they're playing with a lot of us like this. There was a quote by this motivational speaker I listened to. His name is uh he's passed away, but his name is Jim Rohn. And he he constantly says, work harder on yourself than you do on your job. A job will make you a living, but working on yourself will make you a fortune. And so what he suggests is to invest in studying, invest in reading, invest in gaining new skills, right? So I say to myself, yeah, I can be like these other guys out here, right? I can run from stop to stop, and no matter how, when you do the math, no matter how hard or how much you work, you're gonna make about the same. Sure, the other guys, they'll drop a load, they go to the next one, drop one, they may get $100 more than I, right? But after taxes, they're gonna take a percentage of that in taxes, especially if you're single. So I said, why am I breaking my neck for just an extra $100 a week? Wouldn't it be incumbent upon me to work on myself so trans I can transition to making not just an extra $100 a week, but enough to where I can be comfortable with myself and my family, to where we don't have to struggle and live from check to check, paycheck every week. So I said, okay, I'll stop in between my delivery. I don't care if they see this, right? But I'll make sure that I'm working on myself while while I'm being loaded. While I'm being loaded, I'm investing in myself, right? And so that's what it's about. That's what it's about. But to you big YouTubers, you guys, y'all ain't right. You're not right because you're not giving props to the people that you get your ideas from, smaller guys. So that's not right. And I don't care. I am a person of integrity. If someday this channel blows up miraculously, if it happens, if I get some info from a smaller channel, and I may look at them as a threat, like, oh, this person is a threat. But one thing I learned about being hustling in the streets, if you do things the right way, there's enough money for everybody. It's enough money for everybody to eat, and especially on these YouTube streets, there's enough money for everybody to eat. You don't have to be that one guy that got to eat all. And that's what happens in the streets when you want to be that top dog. When you want to be the guy that's eating everything. Well, you guess what? You make yourself a target. He make himself a target for people that say, "Oh, I gotta knock this guy off because what I'm saying. I see how he's playing." But before I end this Monday tap in, what I want to talk about is the difference between working a job and actually having a career. And it is in my opinion that if one has a job, that is like what you should have in the beginning stages. So when you're young, when you're 17, 18, coming out of high school, and you're trying to decide what you're going to do for life, you'll have a job to take, to pay for your minor things. Maybe you renting a room, maybe you're staying with your parents, but you should have a job just to cover your basic necessities while you're trying to figure out what you want to do. Whether you want to go to a trade school and get it and learn a trade, whether you want to go to a university and study whatever you want to study, or whether you decide, okay, I want to get with a company in this industry or whatever and work my way up through the ranks, but through time. The job is to support that basically to take care of yourself. This is a period where you shouldn't be trying to focus on knocking up women. It's okay to still have your women, have a girlfriend or girlfriends, but your focus shouldn't be too much on that to the point where you're taking risks as far as the possibility of getting a woman pregnant. So you should be focused on setting yourself up for the future to position yourself to get the skills to so you can have a career. And once you have had the experience and built and had the skills to have a career, then it is at the point of having a career where you shouldn't have to be struggling, right? When one has a career, one should be making enough money to make plans for whatever they want to do. So if their plan is they want to get a home, they should be making enough money to make plans for getting a home. If one wants to start a family, they should be making enough money to make plans towards having a family. If you find your woman and you decide, okay, we want to start a family. So you get married or however you want to do it, and you just say, okay, let's plan on having one child, right? Well, you know how life goes. You may plan for one, but three come out, and you have no control of that. That's outside of our control. That's in the hands of the creator, whatever you choose to call the creator by. But you should have a career, should you should be making enough in a career to where it can take care of that. To where when you have your children, your wife job, your wife should be able to be at home taking care of those small infant, that baby. She shouldn't be required to go to work because if she doesn't, you guys are going to fall behind on bills. You guys are going to struggle. Your career should have you making enough money to where she stays at home and does her job as far as taking care of those babies or that baby, and you do your job, your career as far as a man, making sure she has what she needs to do what she need to do for your child or your children. And if you find yourself at a point where you're working a job and you have the skills and you've put in the effort to gain the skills or invest in yourself, whether it was going to trade school or whether it was going to university and getting a valuable degree. If you find yourself in a situation where you've done that and you're working at a job where you're not making enough to do those things, then that's then something is wrong with that. Something is wrong with that. And that's the way it should not be that way. It should not be that way. That means that either the system failed you, which more than likely the system is failing a lot of us. And I can't, I'll just say that's it. The system failed, right? If you put in the effort, if you put in the work, the pain, the sweat, all that, to gain those necessary skills, whether it was putting yourself to trade school or whether it was going to the university, and you find yourself that you didn't get a return on investment on that, then the system failed. So that's all I got to say for this Monday morning tap in. I hope y'all are preparing, doing what you got to do, because shit about to get ugly, y'all. Shit about to get ugly. So with that, peace. Yeah, baby, we out of here. How you do this shit? I'll tap in with y'all, man.